Hey, welcome back to Respreading TV. So in this episode, today we're going to be talking about adding a new page to our solution. This page is going to be the Contact Us page. Now through this, we're going to use different tools such as the layout and the controller. The layout is going to allow us to use the same code for multiple pages. And you'll see more of what I'm talking about later in the episode. After that, we're going to connect the two pages in the header, such as Home and Contact Us. I want to be able to click a link and jump between two sections of the website. Okay? All right, let's dive into it. What's up, guys? Welcome back. So, real quick, this video is going to be primarily about creating a Contact Us page, as well as navigating from the home page, from this home page to this Contact Us page. Now this is the template that I purchased in the first video, and right now I'm running it directly from the directory. So if you were to open up the template in your directory, wherever it may be located, and click one of these files, it's going to load the page up and you can view it as if it was an actual website running on the cloud somewhere. Okay. Now, the first thing we're going to want to do is go to our solution and go to the index file. Now, remember, the index file is essentially this page right here, the home page. Okay. Now, what we want to do is we're going to collapse all of this so that we can kind of have an idea of where everything is. All right. So they're all collapsed. Now, what we want to do is, first off, I want to explain to you, there are many ways to do this. There's a tedious way to where you can go to, let's say, what's this called? Just find home page 1 by hitting. So let's first hit Control F and then type in home page 1. And we should be able to find it in our application. Now, this should be in the header, right? So one way we can do this is to copy the header to every single page we make. So if we make one in privacy, we'd have to copy the header as well as the whole page in here, so that every time we go to a new page, this header would appear. But obviously that's tedious. We don't want to do that. Instead, we want to have the header there for every page that we visit on our website. And how to do that is by accessing the shared layout here. Now, I mentioned before that we were going to not use this, thus marking it null. All right, now the default for this, for the application, the default layout page, if you were not to have this as null, would be layout right here, okay? So technically, it will look like this. Use shared layout. Now, if we wanted to have, if we create a new page, a new layout page called layout 2, then we can actually change this to 2, and then it will load this layout instead. Okay, now this is for specifically if you ever wanted to have one for the login page, one for the admin page, one for the actual web pages, the standard web pages. You might want to have 3 different layouts. But for now, we're just going to use one, okay? Now we don't need this, we'll remove it, but this loads by default. So if I were to comment this out, and comment it means it will ignore this line, but you can still see there. It's usually used for documentation reasons. But if we were to comment this out and this line would not be active, the default layout page would be this. Okay? All right, so moving on. So to prevent us from having to create a different header every single time, actually throw it in the layout page. And one of the main reasons why you'll want to do this, if you ever add more things to the header, and you have a header on every single page in your solution, you'd have to update every single header every time you add a new page to this header. And we don't want to do that, obviously, because it will take a lot of time and organization. It's just bad practice, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to take, first we're going to find where the header ends, which is here. We're going to copy all this
we're going to copy everything above where the header ends, which is here, okay? And the reason why I want to copy all of this, including doc type and HTML and body, is because we only want to use the part of the web page that's not repetitive. For instance, the header is going to always look the same. So everything in the header is all of this right here. All of what you see as far as the side scroll, as far as the banner that scrolls, this information here, this information here, all this is actually part of the web page, but it's not repetitive. This is going to be different for every web page. The header is going to always be the same. Okay, now you see if we go to the layout page, which is here and shared, you see they already have a temporary one set up for us. What we want to do is we want to remove all of that because we're not using it. Okay, now we want to keep render body in there, and we also want to keep scripts tags required in there, okay? And I'm going to show you where to put that. Okay, now we're going to remove all that. Now what we copied in the other page, we're actually going to paste here, okay? Now you're going to see render body right here, and that's fine. We actually might need to come down a little bit more. No, actually that's fine. Now this is squiggly line is here because it does not have a body closing tag. Now we'll get to that in a second. So we want to find where the rest of our page ends. So we got all this information here, all of this, and now we have the footer. The footer is just like the header. It's going to remain the same on every page. We want it to look the same. We don't want to keep copying the footer every time. So all this information down here, we want to go ahead and copy that too. And as you can see, it has the footer here. Now every template is not going to specify that this is the footer. You might have to just find it by looking for a footer and use some common sense to figure out what part is the footer and what part is the header. And then we want to go ahead and copy all of this, including the body in HTML, and stick it in our layout right under render body. Now render body is essentially the index page. So index, privacy, all of what's in these files over here is declared in the render body. All right, so the layout is technically, it technically sits over every single one of these pages unless you declare it null. It will sit over every one of these pages. So technically it will load first. After it gets done loading, it will then load the view. Okay, so first it's layout and then it's view. The view is located in the render body. So wherever you put the render body is where it's going to load in the layout page. So next, we want to go ahead and run this and see how it looks. Now, if I'm correct and we did this properly, the page should load and look just like this one. Everything should be exactly the same. And as we see, everything is exactly the same. Now I'm going to show you the difference, okay? If I were to go, let's say, actually, you know what? Here's what we're going to do. Okay, so now that we know that looks the same, now we're going to stop. So, what we want to do is create a new page, and we're going to call this page Contact Us. Now, essentially, I would put this in a different place outside of home, but I want to keep this simple. So what we're going to do, normally I would change this to Contact Us for the sake of simplicity, but I actually want to show you a different way to do something, okay, since we are here on the topic. Now normally, if I make a page called Contact Us, I have to come here and change this page, Contact Us, because remember when I said, first it's going to load the controller, then it's going to load the action, and then it's going to load the view, and the view is here. This is the view for the controller home that it's going to go looking for. And if it's not there, it's going to throw an error, okay? So you got to make sure it's there. All right, so if I wanted to make a Contact Us to where I don't have to have home, actually, let me show you this first. So if I were to run this right now, you're going to see the web page pop up, but for me to find Contact Us, I can't go to Contact Us directly because remember that this Contact Us page is in the controller home. So how the routing works for the URL is that you have to type in home first because it's in the home controller, the view is in the home controller, the view and the action is in the home controller, and then you have to type Contact Us, and then Contact Us is going to load. Okay, now you see there's nothing in the Contact Us page, so it just shares the header that we put in the layout, because it's the same for every page, and it shares the footer. So what we want to do instead, so that we don't have to go to home/contact us, instead we want to just go to contact us. So I want to show you this because it's going to be relevant later. So I'm going to copy, control, and hit C, and then hit control and V to paste. I'm going to create a contact us controller. Now you don't have to do this, but I'm going to show you this for the sake of just so that you can have an understanding of how this works. Okay. Now we're going to leave everything else the way it is. Now that you've created a contact us controller, you need to change the name to contact us controller here, contact us controller here, and one more time here. Basically, everywhere you see a contact us controller, you want to remove or replace that section, that text. Okay, we're going to remove contact us here, because the name of the controller is contact us. So the index file is automatically going to look for the contact us folder, which we don't currently have. So we want to hit Control C again, go to Views, and hit Control V to paste it. And we want to change this entire folder name to contact us. Now we have an associated folder with the controller contact us. So when the controller is, when you're going to the contact us page, first it's going to look for the controller. It's going to look for the default location, and then it's going to look for the view. And I told you before, the view is over here. So now that we have a folder for contact us, you should be able to find it. So we're going to remove this contact us because we don't need it, and this contact us because we don't need it. Okay. So now when I load the web page up, it should be able to find just typing contact us in the URL. And voila, there it is. Now we can access our page, so it could be yourdomain.com/contact us instead of yourdomain.com/home/contact us. Okay. Now, next we want to do is we want to go ahead and modify the contact us page so that it looks like an actual contact us page. So we go find the contact us page they've already created for us and just double check if that's what we want. It should automatically load when you click it. Contact us, boom, this looks good. All right, so what we want to do is we want to copy, we want to drag that that file to our solution and have it load up. Now, since we already have the header, we don't need all of this unless, of course, the web page needs it. And if it does, then I'll show you how to load that in there. But if the page contact us page doesn't need it, then we can just essentially skip over all this. We don't need anything that is outside of the body. So the only thing we need to copy is the meat and guts of the website. We don't need the header or the footer. Now, if you see this header part, we don't need this because we already have it in our layout over here. What we want is just what's in the page. So you see start page title, we need that. We don't want the footer, so basically go all the way down until you see footer, and then copy everything that is outside the header and the footer. And then we're going to go to our contact us page, and we're going to delete everything in there. And put this here. Now, as far as view data title, this is something I want to cover for another episode, but for now we're going to change this to contact us. And for this to be applied to the layout, we'd actually have to just copy this. We'll have to go and change it in the layout page, since we deleted it earlier, all the way at the top where you see title. You want to hit @ and then push Control V to save and view data. So what this is going to do for any page that you view, whether it's contact us or home, it's going to replace view data wherever it's found in the layout page with this title here, thus creating tab title on our web page, and I'll show you that in a second. All right, so I'm running this. You see here, home page. If I go to contact us, you should see that replaced with contact us. And that's what the title tag does in the head on every website. If there's a title tag and you put some information in there, it's going to always replace it at the tab. Okay? Now that, again, that's the only thing I want to show you with that because I don't want to confuse you. Lastly, what we want to do is we want to connect the two pages so that I don't have to type in here the actual URL to get from one page to another. So since they share the same headers, both Contact Us and Home, we can just modify one page to update both of those pages at the same time. Now, if I can't find, let's say, the header, what I can do is, again, cheat sheet, go find something on the page, like home page 1 is a unique name, hit Control F, and type in home page 1, and then voila, you found the section you're looking for, okay? Now, what I want to do, just to make this a whole lot easier, is I don't want a drop down. I just want actual static links. All right, so products doesn't have a drop down. So let me find products and copy whatever products is doing to have one static link. Okay, now this is one static link. All right, it does not have drop down information every time I hover over it. So what we're going to do is we're going to remove everything in that section in this list. This is a list, UL, and any item under UL is usually lead, and that creates the list format. So we're going to shrink all of this, collapse it, and you see this is a list. You see all these leads? That means this is the item in the list that is UL. Okay. Now you can Google more information on that. I don't want to go too much into detail because right now it's not very relevant to what we're trying to do outside of just trying to get something in there concrete. Okay. All right. So now you should see two links. Well, actually, you know what? I'll change this to home, and I will change this to Contact Us. Now on both pages, you should be able to see just two links. Home and Contact Us. Now, given that it's in a weird place because it was the original layout design is to have more. So if we had more, it wouldn't be weirdly spaced up here. So be cautious on what templates you choose because if you don't make it exactly how they intended or close to how they intended, it can actually mess with the design of the website. So now that I copied more, as you can see, it moved itself down to look more like how the template's supposed to look. I put way too many in there, but you get the point. But for now, we're going to remove these, and I'm going to show you how to connect the two pages. So in Visual Studio for C#, there is different syntax. You're allowed to put back-end code or C#. This is C#. All this code you see right here, all this text, this is C#. Okay? You're allowed to put this C# code on this HTML code or HTML markup language. And this is all a markup language. It's not necessarily a coding language. It's more just markup and styling, right? So Visual Studio has allowed you to put back-end code on the front-end code, but only for CS HTML web pages. If this was a regular HTML web page, you couldn't do this. Okay? This only works with CS HTML pages, and it also has to be compiled by Visual Studios to work. If you just did this in Notepad, it wouldn't work. Okay? So the syntax to go to an action, and remember, an action is here. Okay? Like I mentioned before, controller, action, view, and the view is over here, right? These are the views, as you can see, okay? So, what we want to do is we want to go to an action. So we're going to type in @URL.action, and we're going to type in, this is the home page, index, comma, quotations, home, and that should be enough. And then we're going to copy that and we're going to paste that here, and then instead of it going to home, we're going to type in Contact Us. Okay, now when I refresh the page and I click a link, it should take me between the two, Contact Us, home. Voila. you have two different pages that do two different things that are connected that share both the same footer and also the same header. See how easy that was? Pretty simple, right? Now in our next video, I'm going to show you how to send information from your web page to the backend. Here.
And there it is. You've added a brand new page and you connected that page to the rest of the website. We can jump from our home page to our contact page and vice versa. And we also learned the importance of using a layout, like for the header and the footer. Now in future episodes, we're gonna cover a lot more things and get a little bit more detailed with every episode. I hope you guys can see how easy this can be. You know, if it's not too clear, it's not too concise, be sure to ask me questions in my DM on Instagram, on YouTube, or Facebook. Don't be afraid to just reach out and ask me anything. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode.